Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Professor Finley. And for today's workout, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a little short departure from Pilates. As much as I believe in having a strong, stable core and how important that is, we do, under normal circumstances, spend a lot of our waking hours up and walking around. So having really stable foot and ankle muscles, I think, is very important as well. So today, our workout is going to be based on ankle and foot mobilization and stabilization. And it hopefully will give you a few good tools for your toolkit, right, for that area of your body. So for today's workout, you'll need your either tennis ball, pinky ball, or some sort of other small massage ball. You will need your flex band, you will need your mat, and if possible, some sort of a hard surface to stand on that's not your mat. Because in the beginning, we're going to start with a little assessment. And if you're on a hard floor, you're really going to be able to detect the footprints that you're making on the floor. So with that, we're going to start standing today. We'll stand on up and get started. Enjoy. Okay, everybody, we're going to start off with a little fascial foot release. So for this segment, you'll need your tennis ball or your pinky ball or some sort of other small ball. All right, so you're just going to put it down on the floor. We're going to start with a little assessment. We're going to see if we can make a difference, right, to the fascia at the soles of our feet today. So I just want you to stand parallel, hip distance apart. Look down at your feet and really line your toes up across from each other. Know that your toes are completely lined up on the same line, right? Rest your arms down by your sides, not touching your body, but just very relaxed, right? And go ahead and close your eyes and just take a couple of nice, deep, focused breaths. And now I want you to bring your attention and your awareness down to your footprints. Right down to your footprints. And I want you to notice, right, where you're feeling weight on your footprints. So for instance, right now, I'm feeling a lot of my body weight towards the outside edges of my heels. I'm not feeling very much weight towards the insides of my feet at all. My toes feel very light. The balls of my feet feel relatively light. I'm really feeling that downward pressure on the outside edges of my heels. Yours might be totally different. You may be feeling like the inside of the ball of the foot or more weight towards the toes. Don't try to change anything. Just notice what you're feeling right now. Not making any changes whatsoever. Right? And try to memorize what you're feeling. Now we're going to scan our attention up our legs, and we're going to see if we notice any gripping, tight muscles in either our quadriceps, our hamstrings, or our gluteal muscles. If we're having to grip those muscles just to stand there with our feet parallel. Now I want you to scan back down to those footprints once again, and I want you to see if you're sensing that one leg feels much longer than the other leg. So for instance, right now, my right leg feels a lot longer than my left leg. My left leg feels relatively short and relatively light against the floor compared to my right leg, which feels very long, like it's protruding down through the floor. Now, even though you know you lined your toes up right across from each other, exactly level, I want you to see if one foot feels staggered ahead of the other foot. So for instance, right now, even though I know I lined my toes up side by side, my right foot feels like it's taken quite a big step forward, maybe a 2 to 3 inch step forward of my left leg. Okay. Now I want you to take an inhale breath. As you exhale, keep your heels on the floor and lift up all 10 toes. And notice if the body kind of lurches or sways back and forth as you do that. Continue to hold your toes up. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, drop all 10 toes down. And notice if your body kind of lurched forward as you drop those toes. Now slowly open your eyes, nod your chin, and roll your body all the way down, hands coming towards the floor. Just take a moment to breathe into that stretch. Notice any tightness or restriction through the back of the hamstrings, the gluteal muscles, or even the low back. Now I want you to kind of look down at the heels of your hands and your arms. And I want you to notice if one side of the body, one arm, is a little bit longer and a little bit more towards the floor than the other arm. So for right now, I'm noticing that the heel of my left hand is all the way down, like it's making a handprint on the floor. But the heel of my right hand is lifted right about an inch. So I've got a definite imbalance there, right side to left side. Don't change anything. Don't try to find any more stretch. Just memorize what you're feeling. And then softly bend your knees and articulate your spine all the way back up, okay? Just try to remember what you felt when we started, because we're going to come back to that assessment and try it again after we release the fascia of our feet, okay? So you're going to pick up your ball, place it on the floor, right? I'm going to use my left foot. You guys are going to start with your right foot. You're going to place the ball centered right underneath the arch of your foot, okay? Right down the center of the arch. And you're just going to kind of pulse that ball right into the arch of your foot for a count of 8. So we're pulsing that ball 1, little pulses 2, and 3. Not going to the point of pain, just the point of pressure. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to come up to the ball of the big toe, not on your big toe, very much the ball of the big toe knuckle, right? And you're just going to give it 1 focused pulse and release. Now you're going to roll the ball over just a little bit more to the ball of your second toe and give it a little focused compression and release. If you're working in bare feet and you look down at your knuckles, they'll turn a little bit white, perhaps, when you compress. Ball of the third toe, compress, release. Ball of the fourth toe, put that knuckle right on top of the ball, give it a little compression and release. And now you're going to come to the ball of the baby toe and compress and release. Now you're going to come back to the arch of the foot, but it's going to be towards the inside of the arch of your foot. I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can kind of see, right? It's right towards my big toe, right? Center of my arch. And I'm going to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to come over to the other side of my arch, the baby toe side of my arch. 8 more pulses, little pulses. 1, 2, to the point of pressure, never to the point of pain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to go back towards kind of the arch of my foot, back by my heel, but not on my heel, very much on my arch, but kind of towards the back of the arch by the heel. And I'm going to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to hold this final compression on 8. So I'm compressed, the ball is kind of flattened with the weight of my body. My ball of my foot is on the floor, and I'm just going to kind of zigzag my heel. I'm going to glide that ball from the big toe side to the baby toe side, just gliding it back and forth. Now we're going to actually come onto the heel itself. So I'm kind of just gently sliding the ball of my foot forward, and I'm zigzagging the ball right onto my heel bed, right, with that little gentle pressure. And now I'm going to kind of zigzag it back to where I started. So I'm coming back to the arch of my foot, gliding it back and forth. And now I'm going to give it just right there in the center. I'm going to give it one more little kind of gentle compression directly down on it. And then release, okay? So now we just stirred up kind of a lot of fluid in our fascia at the bottom of our foot. So we're going to kind of rinse it out a little bit. So I want you to come up to line your feet up side by side. Come back up to the ball of the big toe, right? Give it a little downward compression. And then you're going to keep the ball compressed. You're going to roll it right down the arch of your foot towards your heel. And I'm kind of catching it with my heel. And then there's no compression as I come back, because I'm going to find the ball of my second toe now. Give it a little bit of downward compression. Roll it, keep it compressed, roll it down the center of my arch. I'm starting to feel a lot of kind of crackly connective tissue right now as I do this. Catch it with my heel, and then no compression as I come back, finding the ball of my third toe now. Giving the ball that third toe, a little bit of downward compression, rolling the ball right along the arch of the foot, right down the center of it, catching it with my heel. No compression on the way back. We'll find the ball of the fourth toe. Downward compression on the ball of the fourth toe. Keeping it compressed as I come down the arch towards the heel. Kind of catch it with the heel and return. Now I've got ball of that baby toe. This one's kind of hard to do. See if you can do it. Ball of the baby toe. Compress down. Roll it right down the outside edge of my arch. Back towards my heel. And then release all the way. Now all I want you to do is kind of just tickle the ball. Little circles, little zigzags, not very much compression at all. Just that light sensation, right, on the sole of the foot. Just a few times. And then release. Just let the ball go. Come back to your parallel hip distance stance, right? Arms down by the sides, not touching the body. Close your eyes. We're going to do a little side-by-side comparison. So bring your awareness down to the foot that we just rolled, that we just released, and see if you have a little bit more even sensation throughout the sole of that footprint, right? A little bit more even weight distribution. Maybe a little bit softer feeling to the bottom of the foot. Scan up the leg, and if you were feeling any kind of gripping, tense muscles in that leg, either the quadriceps, the hamstrings, or the glutes, see if that leg feels a little softer and a little more fluid. And then just open your eyes, and we're going to do the other side. So we're going to come to the center of the arch on that left foot and kind of compress down on it. Just a few little compressions. Good. And now we're going to pulse. We're pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 little pumps. Good. Okay, now we're going to come to the ball of the big toe. You can kind of line your feet up a little bit. And we're going to go ball of the big toe, set the knuckle right on top, compress, and release. Glide it over to the ball of the second toe. Knuckle is right on top of the ball. And focused compression, and release. Glide it over to the ball of the third toe. The third knuckle is right on top. Compress, release. Place the fourth knuckle right on top of the ball. Compress, release. Glide it over to the baby toe. My baby toe knuckle is right on top of the ball. Compress, release. Bring it back, the ball back to the arch of your foot, over towards the inside, the big toe side of your arch. Little pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll it over to the baby toe side of your arch. Little pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel the pressure. 6, 7, 8. Bring it back. Still very much the arch of your foot, but back towards your heel. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold this 8th one. Bring the ball of your foot down to the floor. And this, we're just going to glide that ball from the big toe side of my arch to the baby toe side. Just gliding it back and forth. Feeling that compression, feeling that pressure. Just a few more. And then start to glide it onto your heel bed. So I'm just kind of pushing the ball of my foot forward on the floor and letting that ball glide up onto my heel bed. Just that consistent compression, kind of zigzagging it back and forth. Now I'm going to zigzag it back to the arch of my foot. Give it a couple more glides. And then find the center and just give it a nice little bit of downward compression. And release. Now we're going to start that rinsing action again. So you're going to come back up, line your feet up, come back to the ball of your big toe. Compress down. Keep it compressed as you roll it right down the arch of the foot towards the heel. Catch it with the heel. No compression as you return to the ball of the foot. Ball of the second toe, that knuckle's right on top. I compress down. Keep my compression steady as I roll right down the arch of the foot towards the heel. Catch it with the heel. And release. Come back up to the ball of the third toe. That knuckle is right on top. Downward compression. Compress it right down the arch of the foot. Yeah, you're probably feeling a lot of stuff going on in there. Catch it and release as you come back. Ball of the fourth toe. Downward compression to start. Keep the compression consistent right down the arch of the foot. Catch it with the heel. Come back. Here's our last one. This is the hard one. Baby toe, knuckle right on top. Downward compression. Keep the compression consistent. Go right down the outside edge of that arch. Catch it with your heel and come back. Now we're just simply kind of tickling the ball underneath the sole of the foot. Do little random circles, little zigzags, whatever. Not a lot of pressure at all. And then just release. Let the ball go wherever it goes. Come back to your parallel shoulder distance stance. Arms away from your body, but relaxed, and close your eyes. Try to remember what you felt when we first started this release, right? See if the footprints feel softer. See if the weight feels more evenly distributed wherever you were feeling a lot of pressure before. All right, see if it feels a little bit more even. And then scan your awareness right up your legs. If you were feeling any gripping thigh muscles or seat muscles, see if those muscles feel a little bit softer, a little bit more relaxed. Come scan back down now. Find the footprints again. And if before one leg felt much longer than the other leg, see if your legs feel a little bit more even now. If before one foot felt staggered in front or stepped in front of the other foot, see if your toes feel a little bit more lined up. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, keep your heels on the floor. Lift up all 10 toes. And see if you're able to find your equilibrium, your center of balance, just a little bit easier. Keep those toes lifted. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, drop all 10 toes down. And if before you really kind of lurched forward when you lowered those toes, see if you're able, again, to find your center of gravity just a little bit sooner. Open your eyes. Nod your chin towards your collarbones and slowly roll down. Articulate that spine all the way down, hands coming towards the floor. Just breathe into your stretch. And remember what you felt in terms of hamstring, glute, or low back restriction the first time we rolled down. See if those areas, those muscles feel a little looser, a little less restricted. Look down at the heels of your hands and see if they're a little bit more even. So right now, right where before my right hand, my heel of the hand was lifted up and away, now it's comfortably down. I've got two very even handprints on the floor. And in fact, now I can actually even soften and bend my elbows. See if we've made a difference. And then soften the knees, scoop the pelvis under, and articulate the spine back up. Okay, and just part of your deliverable, right, for today's class will be to kind of describe the differences that you felt. So try to memorize what your body felt. Okay, now I'm going to have you take a parallel position. We're going to do another little assessment before we go on to the next segment of our foot ankle mobility stability workout today. So all I want you to do is take an inhale breath. As you exhale, I want you to rise up to the balls of your feet, pressing those heels as high as you can. And just notice what you're feeling in terms of ankle stability, in terms of how high you can press those heels, and then just roll back down and try that again. I had a little stumble there, so hopefully when I reassess, I'm feeling a little bit stronger. Pressing up. Make note of where you're feeling the weight on the balls of the feet. Does it feel evenly distributed across the metatarsals, or does it feel like you're pressing towards the baby toe or really towards the big toe? And then roll back down. Great, everybody. Okay, go ahead and grab your band and your mat, and and we're going to go on. All right, everybody. So now we release the fascia of our feet. Hopefully that felt good. Now we're going to work the foot in a little bit more segmented manner because the foot really is made up of our phalanges, our metatarsals, our tarsals, right, and our whole heel complex. So if you had socks on, go ahead and take your socks off because you're going to need to be able to have your bare feet for this next section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interlace my fingers through my toes. Hopefully we all have clean little feet, right? So I've just interlaced my fingers right through my toes like that. I'm going to take my opposite hand and hold on to my metatarsals to kind of steady them. And then I'm just going to use my hand. I'm going to make little circles of my toes. You can go in any direction you'd like. So we're just kind of releasing the toes a little bit. And then circle in the opposite direction. Good. And then just kind of hold on to the forefoot. And I want you to just kind of curl your toes over your knuckles. Kind of make a little claw of those toes. And release. And once again. And release. Keep your hand on your toes where it is. Now you're going to go from your metatarsals. Hold your hand on your tarsals. So this is the part of the foot right above the heel. And you're going to rotate. And what it should be is it should feel like you're rotating your metatarsals now. So that upper part of the foot. Circle in any direction you like. Keeping the heel steady with your opposite hand, which is what I'm doing. So there's no movement in the ankle joint. This is all in the foot. And then circle in the opposite direction. We're just getting a little bit of mobility in that arch. Now I'm reaching my hand around. I'm actually going to hold on to my heel to steady my heel. And now the circling is going to come from the ankle joint. Right above the heel, and then circle it in the opposite direction. Now I'm going to hold on to my ankle, and I'm going to circle the entire foot at the ankle joint in one direction. Just nice and loose, and then circle in the opposite direction. And release. Ah, yes, feels good. Okay, let's do the other foot. So take the fingers, interlace them through your toes. If you have tight toes, you might have to kind of work them in there. That's good, we need that space and that separation in the phalanges. Okay. Hold on to the metatarsals and just circle those toes, circle the phalanges in one direction, holding the rest of your foot steady. And then circle in the opposite direction. Just the toes. Good, and then kind of curl the toes. I'm kind of gripping my toes around my knuckles. And release. And again, squeeze. And release. Now, instead of holding onto the metatarsals, I'm going to come all the way up to the tarsals. We know that from studying the skeleton, right? And now it's just kind of the arch of my foot, right? That whole metatarsal area. I'm just circling that, holding the heel and the ankle steady. So you're not going to get a lot of motion probably, but a little bit. And then circle in the opposite direction. Good. I'm going to come back and hold on to my heel, keeping the heel steady, and just circling right at the front of the ankle joint. Little circles. And then in the opposite direction. Good. Now I'm holding on above my ankle. I'm going to take the entire foot around at the ankle joint in one direction. Feeling a few little pops in there. And then the opposite direction. and then release. Good, okay, I hope your feet are feeling nice and relaxed and stretchy. So we're gonna go on to an exercise that's really great for all sorts of athletes. They really recommend it for runners, any group that needs kind of that stable arch. Dancers for sure, right? It's called doming, okay? And I'm going to teach you, there's different versions. If you go online, there's different versions of doming. The one that I am going to teach you is a little less extreme, but it really gets to the intrinsic foot muscles, the real muscles that form stability for our foot, all right? So you're just going to place your foot out in front of you, just right like that, right? I'm going to show you my foot here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to keep your toes long and relaxed. So the toes are not going to be involved in this version of doming. And you're just going to lift up the arch of your foot, creating a little tunnel. So I'm just sliding the ball of my foot towards my heel to pick up my arch. And I'm going to hold 2, 3, 4, toes relaxed and long, 6, 7, 8, and release. Just bring the foot back. And then once again, I'm going to draw the ball of the foot towards the heel, picking up the arch, doming the arch, toes stay long and relaxed. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Once again, drawing the ball of the foot back towards the heel, doming the arch, little tunnel there, toes long and relaxed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. I'm starting to feel it a little bit now. I didn't for the first one. And draw the ball of the foot in and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Let's do one more set so you start to feel it a little bit. And draw the ball of the foot in and hold your dome. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. I'm going to turn around. You don't need to. You can just use your opposite foot. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. You can turn around if you'd like to. Okay, opposite foot now. So you're going to notice also that you have a stronger foot probably, and you have a foot that's going to feel this a little bit more. So my foot's relaxed now. This is the foot that I feel a little bit more. It's my weaker foot. I'm going to draw the ball of the foot in towards the heel, doming out the arch, keeping my toes soft, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Feeling it already on this foot. 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Gliding the ball of the foot towards the heel, holding. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Glide the ball of the foot towards the heel and hold. Feel that dome. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Glide it in, dome that arch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Let's do one more set, really feeling it on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. So hopefully you felt that a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go into some toe isolations. These seem a little odd, but the toes are stabilizers. When we're standing, they really are. So I want you to take your fingers and place them over your second, third, fourth, and fifth toe, and we're going to isolate the big toe. And we're going to lift it up and then press it back down into our mat. And lift it up and press it down. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Now we're going to place our other hand over the big toe, right? And you're going to have these fingers over your third, fourth, and fifth toe. So you're going to isolate the second toe. It's not going to lift very far. 1, 2, 3, just little isolation. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. Hand goes over big toe, second toe, and then fourth and fifth toe. We're isolating the third toe. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Don't worry if it moves. No, it doesn't move very much. 5 and 6. They do get better if you do them often enough. 7, 8, and you do feel that change in stability. And 9 and 10. Now we're going to do our fourth toe. So placing this hand over my big toe, second toe, third toe, and this hand just right over my big pinky toe. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place this hand over the first 4 toes, and now just my baby toe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're going to do what we call piano toes. So you're just going to drum your toes. I'm going to go baby toe to big toe, right? Just like, yep. And like you're drumming your toes, baby toe to big toe. Don't worry if the coordination is hard. This is another one that does get better. Good, now let's see if we can go from big toe to baby toe, big toe to baby toe, big toe to baby toe. I find this one harder. It takes me a while to get that coordination. There I go. Okay, it takes me a few times. Good, and I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it all through here. And then come down. Let's take it to the other side. Funny little exercise. They do get better. I've noticed, I've taught this to my dance conditioning class and some younger students that are getting ready for point shoes, right? And it's gotten better for me. So isolating my big toe. So I'm extending it up and pressing it down. And 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fourth toe. I'm really feeling my muscles work on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do that baby toe. 1. Oh, he barely wants to move. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drumming the toes. Baby toe to big toe. Good. And now big toe to baby toe. Good. Feel that little bit of burn in those ankle muscles. Good, everybody. Okay. Oh, yeah. Energized ankles. Okay. Go ahead and grab your band. Okay. And you're going to place the ball of your foot, including your toes, right, into the band. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. So what I like to have is just a little bit of overlap. So the ends of my toes are right there, and I have about maybe 1 inch to 1/2 inch of TheraBand kind of on top of those toes. What we're going to do for this one is we're going to keep our knee bent and place our heel on the mat. And then you're going to take both ends of your band, right, and hold it in the same hand, the same side of the body. So right now I'm working my right leg, and I've got both ends in my right hand, and I'm kind of giving it I'm choking up on it a little bit, so the band has some tension, and I brought my right hand right above my right knee, and I'm kind of securing it there so that it doesn't become a big arm workout, that I'm really kind of focusing my attention on my foot and ankles. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep our foot flexed, and we're going to kind of claw our toes over and release and 2, and 3. So we're working the flexor tendons at the bottom of the foot. And we'll just do a few more. Good. And let's do 5 more. And 4. And 3. And 2. And we're going to hold this last one. Keep the foot in this position. I call it the claw position. It's not a very pretty position, right? We're just working those muscles. And then you're just going to tap the toes down and flex the ankle up. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. So you can keep the foot in this position, this claw position. You're going to push out through the ball of the foot, flex the foot, and then curl the toes. Push through and up. 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 2 more. And 1 more. Now you're going to go in the opposite direction. You're going to kind of scoop the toes and press down and scoop the toes. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. Starting to feel it a little bit. 8. And 9, like you're picking something up with your toes. And 10. Good, everybody. Okay, go ahead, hold one end of the band in each hand, and now you're going to go ahead and extend your leg out in front of you, and leg is going to be straight. For those of you that have some hyperextension in the knees, your heel may leave the floor just a little bit. Because we're not weight bearing, that is fine. Your heel can leave the floor. I'm going to have everybody push to the ball of the foot. Right, so my toes are flexed back, but my ankle is arched. And now, this is really, really important for these exercises. As I lengthen my toes, I'm not going to let them crunch or knuckle under. I'm going to lengthen my toes and feel like my toes are pushing through the band to the other side. They're very long. They're not at all crunched. And then I'm going to come back to the ball of the foot and then flex the heel. So I go ball of the foot, lengthen the toes, never crunching them, ball of the foot, and flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Couple more. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. 2 more. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Good. Now I'm just going to come to the ball of the foot. My ankle is arched, my toes are flexed, and now it's just toes for a set of 20. Pushing those toes, always lengthening them. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Long toes. 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, and 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, 6, starting to feel it now, 5, and 4, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Good. Just give that foot a nice flex, kind of feel that calf muscle that we just obviously worked. A nice stretch. And we're going to do 1 more with the band. So now I want you to take your band and you're going to wrap it around the pinky toe side of the ball of the foot and bring both hands over to this side. Okay? And then you're going to place the band around the outside of this arch. Right? So outside of the pinky toe to this side. I'm going to pull it up a little bit so it's more secure, and around the outside of this foot. Okay? So now we're working is we're working a set of muscles right along the side of the ankle and the shin called the perineal muscles, right? And I like to do this one. It doesn't overwork those muscles. It works them, but it doesn't jam into them. Some dancers know the version of this where you're kind of winging and beveling the foot. That can get really, really tight. This one keeps the peroneals in a more neutral position. So I'm flexing both feet, and then I'm coming to the ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex, ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Keep those toes nice, just tracking the second toe right down the tibia, and ball of the foot, flex. After we do a few, you're going to start to feel it on the outside of that ankle that's wrapped in that band. Might take a few, but you're going to start feeling it. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex, ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. We're also getting, believe it or not, a little bit of deep core with this one. It's a little bit of oblique, and you may start feeling it in your gluteus medius on that side as well. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Let's take 3 more, and up, 2 more, and up, 1 more, and up. Good. Okay. Just release. Let the band kind of pull you into a little bit of a sickled foot to release those peroneal muscles just a little bit. And then come up, and we're going to take all of that to the other side. I'm going to turn around. You don't need to. Place the ball of the opposite foot right into that band. Remember, we want just a little bit of the band kind of hanging over the top of the toes. Okay, so now I'm working my left foot. I'm going to take both ends into my left hand. Give the band a little bit of a pull, so I've got some good tension on that band. Right, my heel is on my mat. My toes are lifted, okay? It's nice and strong. And then I'm just going to curl my toes and release. And 2. Keeping the ankle flexed. 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. 8. And 9. And then I'm going to hold that claw position for this 10th one. Holding that claw position. Tapping the toes to the mat and up. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. Now I'm going to start tapping my toes towards my mat, push it out, and flex and come up. And circling the ankle. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. Now it's like little scoops. And scoop. And 2 as we go in the opposite direction. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. Starting to feel it now on this foot for sure. 8. And 9. And 10. Okay, now I'm going to extend my leg. Hold one end of the band in each hand. Right, this is the one where we really have to be careful. We're working with those long toes. So I'm going to push out through the ball of my foot. Keep my toes flexed. Right? If your heel comes off the mat, that's totally fine. I want you to lengthen your toes. See how long you can make them. Come back to the ball of the foot and then pull into a flex. And ball of the foot, stretch. Ball of the foot, flex. Really tracking the tibia with the second toe. So you can kind of look down and watch it. And making sure you're working really neutrally with that ankle. And ball of the foot, stretch. Ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch. Ball of the foot, flex. We have 5 more and flex. 4 more and flex. 3 more and flex. 2 more, and flex. 1 more, and flex. Push out to the ball of the foot. Now we're just going to lengthen the toes and flex the toes back up for a count of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Long toes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Flex that heel back, flex that ankle back. Give it a little stretch. Good. Release. Let's go on to those peroneal muscles. So now I'm going to take the band, wrap it around kind of the pinky toe side of the ball of the foot. Take the ends. I'm going to extend both legs now. So I've got the pushing the arch of my foot into the band, just like that. Good. And I've got a little bit of tension on it, so I get a nice workout. Okay, my feet are flexed, right? They're parallel. I'm pushing through the ball of the foot and stretching the toes, ball of the foot and flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Ball of the foot, stretch, ball of the foot, flex. Starting to feel it now. I'm starting to get that little burn right outside of the ankle, right up into the outside of my shin, and flex and reach. Push those toes over and bring them back. Half full, half back. Let's take 4 more. Toes come up. 3 more, and up. 2 more, and up. 1 more, and up. Good. Release the opposite leg and just kind of let your foot kind of make a sickle shape like that. Just stretching those muscles out a little bit that we just worked. And then come on up. Let's go back to the first foot that you worked. We're just going to give it a tiny little release, and then we're going to stand on up and do a little reassessment. Okay? So I'm just kind of taking my ankle across my thigh like that. I'm going to take my thumbs, and I'm going to go right into that tendon that runs right along the inside arch of the foot, the one that we did the little pumps with earlier. And I'm just going to kind of massage into that. If you want to know that you're right on it, go ahead and wiggle your big toe, and you're going to feel that tendon kind of roll right underneath your toe. And I just want you to take your thumbs, kind of massage up that tendon towards the ball of your foot just a couple of times. Right from the base of your heel, right up the arch of the foot towards the ball of the foot. Just a couple little kneading massages. And then release. Let's go over and do the other foot. Taking it right over. Okay. I'm going to wiggle my toes a couple times, and yep, there it is. I feel it. It's kind of rolling right underneath my thumbs. And then I'm just going to kind of massage up that tendon towards the ball of my foot. Going to go back by my heel, right up into my arch. Don't go to the point of pain, but go to the point of pressure, like we talked about earlier. And just a couple times. Okay, we're going to stand on up and we're going to do a little reassessment. All right, everybody. So I just want you to come back to your original parallel hip distance apart. Line up those toes, arms by your sides, not touching your body position. Go ahead and close your eyes once again. Take a couple of deep breaths. Go back down to your footprints. Check in on your footprints. See how the weight is feeling. Is it evenly distributed right through the soles of the feet? Scan up the legs. Check for any muscle tension. Scan back down. Check out the leg length situation. See if the feet feel nicely lined up. And and then go ahead and open your eyes. Now we're going to check a little bit more for stability, right? So I want you to take an inhale breath. As you exhale, just rise right up to the balls of your feet. Oh, my heels feel ever so much higher. I can get up much higher on the balls of my feet, and I'm feeling more stable. I actually feel like I could just stay there and stay there and stay there. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a change as well. And then roll slowly back down. Let's take that again, inhaling, exhaling to find the strength in the core, and press up to the balls of the feet. Good, and just see if you can get a little higher maybe and feel a little bit more stable. And then roll back down. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that segment. We probably made a little bit of a change today. If you keep doing exercises like this on a little bit more regular basis, you can make a nice little routine for yourself that doesn't take very long at all. I recommend starting with the fascial release to get a little bit more mobility, and I love that one where you're interlacing your fingers through the toes and getting a little bit more segmented movement in the foot and ankle. So I hope you enjoyed that, and you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.